Tim, was music a big influence on you growing up?
Oh yeah, yeah, music all the time growing up, and of course I grew up in the prehistoric days, and the big thing, of course, in '64 was the Beatles, which changed the whole landscape, and so yeah, and then I was uh, I grew up in Buford, Georgia, which is a small country town, and so big names for me back then were Merle Haggard, George Jones, all the classics, Gene Watson, Willie Nelson, and Waylon, all of them. And my cousin went to Nashville and became the vice president of A&R for Sony B&G Music. So had a lot of inside connections. I was doing morning drive radio, and so emceed a lot of shows and met a lot of people in the business. And music was like everything.
Tim, can you tell us a little bit about what inspires you in music?
Everyday things, people's calamities, situations people get into, the emotions, uh, uh, and I never know what it's going to come from. Actually, most of my songs have been written in a fairly short period of time. It's almost like they gel in my head and then pop out. uh, so some have been inspired by people I knew who, for example, had been in a marriage for a long period of time and got a divorce, and so I kind of put myself in their situation and tried to express what it might be like. Me, I wouldn't know. I've only been married 3 times, so I've never. uh, so divorce is something I went through, but it was a long time ago. So.
Tim, you've just recently started pursuing music or focusing on your music more. Can you tell us how you got to this point?
Yeah, I wrote over the past 2 or 3 years. I wrote 50 plus songs, I guess, and but when I was really into the music in the early years in '69, '70, '71 with a band and the whole 9 yards, you didn't record anything. There was no way to record anything. There was no, you either just jump bar to bar and hope somebody found you, which I did not want to do. So I set it aside. Years went by, and one day I was watching TV, and there was Little Big Town was on TV, and they were playing these guitars with a half moon cut in the top of the guitar. So I called my son and I said, "What kind of guitar is that?" And so we did some research, and it turned out to be a McPherson. So I started looking for McPherson, and they started like 5,000. So I bought me a McPherson guitar, and it hung back here on a rack for 3 years. I never touched it after I bought it. And the guy came along and said, "You want to sell it?" And I went, "Yeah, sure." So I sold it. After a few days, I thought, I don't have a guitar. The first time in my life, I don't have a guitar. So I ran out and I bought a little Fender, a cheap $150 guitar, and started playing with it. And then I went to Taylor, and then I kind of just kept upgrading to this Taylor that I play now, and started writing the songs. And I set up a recording studio, and I would do this, in-home recording, doing different tracks, always me, and not a profound guitarist, by the way. So at the end of the day, I've taken this as far as I can take it. I saw a video that Sammy Kershaw did when George Jones died, and it was called "The Route That I Took," and it looked like he recorded it at his house. And I thought, well, I'll drive to Louisiana and meet Sammy if he'll spend 45 minutes and just kind of give me some instruction on how to do this. Well, on one of the other social media platforms, he did post one day that he was going to be in Muscle Shoals, Alabama for a week working on a project. I've never been one to shy away from opportunity, so I just jumped in the car and went to Muscle Shoals, which was a lot closer than Louisiana, and met Sammy, and he introduced me to his sound guy, and who was an old traditional, been around, traditional country his whole life. And we just hit it off, Billy Lawson, and I showed him the songs, and so he produced the album. It's called The Balladeer. Came out not too long ago. Streams on iTunes and on Google Play, Amazon, Spotify. It's everywhere. So the actual CD can be purchased at balladeermusic.com. So we chose 14 songs, original songs, and started to work. And it took about a year to get all the production done and manufacturing of the discs and the licensing and all of the business stuff that I had no clue about out of the way. A lot of stuff in the background people don't realize. It's not just jot out a song and go record it somewhere.
You've been very successful at performing online. How has that experience helped you connect with new fans?
It's tremendous. It's all the difference in the world. There's so much out there now for independent artists, musicians to so much support and so many systems that can help you just perform worldwide. You saw it on Google Plus with Daria Musk. Just start playing and people. I've got people that send me messages from Pakistan, from Egypt, from England. And it's cool. But the support things as far as how do you do this and how do you do that, there's so many systems set up that if you just plug into it, all of it's basically taken care of for you at a price, but it's not very expensive.
What are some things you enjoy outside of music that your fans might not know about?
Golf. I traveled a lot. I've been very fortunate, but mainly now it's the music. I guess because for so many years in pursuing my career, doing TV commercials and things like that, it was set aside. So all the other things I was able to do during those years, and now for the past 2 or 3 years, it's just been, focusing on the music.
Okay, and if you could perform with anyone, past or present, who would you want to share a stage with?
Merle Haggard. No question, Merle. I don't like his politics, but that's who I study. And a lot of people have said, "Oh, you sound like George Jones," and I'm going like, "Okay, well, that's not what I'm trying to do," but that's still a huge flattering compliment.
What are your goals moving forward with your music?
I've had people say, "Well, if you'll do this, I can do that for you." I'm not really, at my age, I'm not trying to start a new career. I'm just enjoying doing what I do. Some people may like it, some people may not. It doesn't really matter. I'm just doing what I'm doing, and not looking for. My money's been made in my career, so it's not like I have to do it for profit. It's a sweet situation, and I'm past the ego of really. I don't really care to have people going, "Oh, No, I've had people who got a CD and said, "Will you autograph it?" And I thought, for what? I mean, why deface the product? and there is. I tried to fix a little signature on the back side there. You can see. But yeah, I'm just relaxed and enjoying it, and just hope the words and lyrics. I'm a big lyricist. I like to tell stories in the songs, and I just hope that just continues, and I can keep doing that.
Are you currently working on any new projects?
Well, let's see. Just finished The Balladeer. It's on balladeermusic.com, but you can also, the digital download is on Amazon, on iTunes, Google Play, streams on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all that. There is also another one called Balladeer and Friends, which is really cool. That is those songs. There's 6 of them that were internet collaborations. And it features Rob Michael, Heather Faye, Tim Behrens, Paul Platt. And we each cut our tracks wherever we were. Paul Platt in Australia, Tim Behrens in Kansas, Rob Michael out in California. And those guys kind of mixed it for me. And so I made that available. And we're working on a new project called 6 Shooter coming out in the fall. and it'll be 6 more new. These are brand new original songs. I've gotten four of them written, 2 more to go, and we'll start recording them here in the next month or two. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Tim, where's the best place to keep up to date with your music and everything you have going on?
Balladeermusic.com. I blog there on, anytime anything's going on, and everything is pretty much, it comes together there. So, and of course, I'm on Facebook, on Google Plus, and Instagram, and Twitter, and it's easy to find.